Hello everyone and welcome to another video on the channel. Today's video is going to be the third installment of what I'm calling like my Unwatched collection overview. So this is probably the biggest one. It was the tallest pile of the 6 piles that I've got to go through. I'm still yet to upload the second part. Trying to get through more of the ones that were recommended to me in the first part, but I thought I'd get ahead and record this, as I've not recorded a video in almost a week now since my last weekly watches. Some of these you should have seen, because like I said, this probably be a couple of weeks until this goes up anyway, so you should have seen everything in this part. I mean, at the point of recording this video, you won't have seen some of them because they're new pickups, but you should have seen them by the time this video goes out. A lot of Blu-rays, primarily Blu-rays, a few 4Ks, and then we've got some DVDs as well to go through. So I'm just going to flip the camera around now. As usual, I'm going to go through each title, sort of give my thoughts of what the film's about, what I'm going to think of the film itself, and the whole aim is to recommend some of these films to me, to prioritise over the others, because there's so many of them. And I'd like to get the ones that are quality watched before the ones that aren't so good. So yeah, we'll get cracking. I'll flip the camera around and we'll start with the first one. So first up, as you can see, we have Strange Darling, which is a pretty recent pickup. Only got this a few days ago. Ash over at Popcorn and Horror. Go and check him out. Good friend with Ash. Always have very similar tastes, very good recommendations for each other. And he sent me the link, I think it was when they were doing like a Prime Day sort of sale last week. And this was only £6, and I still had a little bit of money left over from my previous vouchers with work. So I spent it on this because I missed it last year when it came out. And it was one that I'd always intended on watching because I'd heard really good things about it. It's a cat and mouse thriller, I believe, written and directed by J.T. Molnar, who recently wrote The Long Walk, which is, as of right now, my favourite film of the year. So yeah, like I said, I believe it's like a cat and mouse horror thriller about a serial killer. It's only an hour and a half, so pretty tight watch. And it has Willa Fitzgerald, Kyle Gallner, who I really like, Ed Begley Jr., who I think he's a pretty good character actor, and Barbara Hershey. So yeah, she'll be hopefully checking that one out soon anyway. So then next up, another new pickup. This one was recommended to me by my good friend Sam over at Sammy G's World of Cinema. We talk to each other pretty much every day about random stuff, and one day he said, "Ollie, have you seen this? I think this would be right up your street, Submarine." It's a Richard Ayoade film which Ben Stiller produced. He said it's like a coming-of-age British comedy. That sold it for me. It's got a really good cast as well. It's Craig Roberts. It's also got Sally Hawkins, Noah Taylor, Paddy Considine. So yeah, some really good actors there. And another British film that I need to check out. We then have this one, which I've shown in my pickup video, which, as you'll know by now, it only works on my Blu-ray player. It's my region-free Blu-ray player downstairs. It's not the specific copy of the Blu-ray, because this is a second copy after I found out the first copy didn't work. Maybe in a numbnuts, ordered another copy for about the same price, so I've basically spent £10, no, it's more, £12 for both, on a film that I can't actually watch in my room. But I did go and test this downstairs and it does work. I know Roy tested it, and I think Stuart tested his copy. We all have Panasonic players, I think, 4K players, and it didn't work. So it must be something to do with Panasonic or with 4K players. I'm not too sure. But I intend on trying to watch this over the course of this next week, because I have the television downstairs to myself. I only have one night next week where I'm not actually out, so it will probably be that night that I put this one on. Might get 2 films in that night, just because I want to make the most of the films that I can't watch upstairs whilst I can. But yeah, Sam Raimi, Drag Me to Hell. I recently watched the Evil Dead films, really liked. Yeah, want to get into more of Sam Raimi's horror stuff. Another one that was a recent addition to the collection, The Woman in Black. Another one that I bought with the intention to watch during this month. It's unlikely I'll get this watched now, because if you can see just to the side, that's my pile of titles that I am going to attempt to watch in the next month. I've also got the Nightmare on Elm Street films. I've seen about rewatched half an hour of the first one, so I need to finish that, and then I need to try and watch the sequels. But The Woman in Black, one that I remember growing up, like when this came out, I was like 10, and I heard it's absolutely terrifying for a 12 rated film at the time. Really scary ghost story. But I'm getting more and more into my horror now. And I love ghost stories. Like, one that I'll be watching this month 100% is The Others, which I'm sure this sort of borrows things from. So yeah, The Woman in Black. Is that worth watching soon? We then have a title that Sam very kindly sent over to me, called A Bigger Splash, which is a Luca Guadagnino film, who actually has a new film out this coming weekend, starring Julia Roberts and Andrew Garfield, called After the Hunt, which I'm quite looking forward to watching. And this is sort of, I think, maybe his first big film that sort of started putting his name around. People started to know who he was. This was just before Call Me By Your Name. It's got a starry cast. You've got Ralph Fiennes, Dakota Johnson, Matthias Schoenaerts, and Tilda Swinton. And Sam said for him it was more of a one-time watch kind of film, but he said I might get more out of it. So yeah, thank you, Sam, again. I will, if you think I'll like it, I will definitely give it a watch. We then have one which people have said to me multiple times is a great film. I know this is one of Stuart's favourites. It's got one of his favourite actors in, David Warner, who I also really like. And it's a time travel film, I believe. Malcolm McDowell, I think Mary Steenburgen would make sense, because they were married for quite a while. Back in the sort of 80s, before she met Ted Danson. It's basically a serial killer time travel film about H.G. Wells basically trying to catch Jack the Ripper in modern day. Is it San Francisco? Yeah. Well, when I say modern day, this was 79? Yeah, good on me. Got that one right. So yeah, let me know if that one's any good. We then have Eyewitness, which was one of the titles that I picked up in the recent Signal 1 sale that I just got because the cast. I mean, just look at that cast. William Hurt, Sigourney Weaver, Christopher Plummer. It's a thriller. I mean, ticks all boxes for me. James Woods as well was on the back. It's a Peter Yates film. So yeah, it's that one. We then have one that Stuart's recommended to me, but I just haven't put it on yet. And I know for a fact I will like this one, just because of the plot. It's Christopher Reeve. I mean, of course I'm going to like it. It's Somewhere in Time. It's a fantasy romance film, I believe, to do with time travel. A young playwright, and he gets given a watch that allows him to go back in time. Another one with Christopher Plummer in. Yeah, another one that I expect I will like when I get to it. Aha, The Debt. John Madden, this is it not? Yeah, John Madden, sort of cold, I think it's a Cold War sort of spy thriller maybe. Helen Mirren, Sam Worthington, Jessica Chastain, I think it's Tom Wilkinson as well. Yeah, Martin Sokas, I think is how you say his name. Jesper Christensen, Kieran Hines. I mean, music by Thomas Newman. Lots of good things going for it there. So yeah, that's The Debt. We then have this 4-pack, which I've had since the Birmingham meetup, and I've still not seen any of these films. It includes Innocent Blood, Wolfen, The Hunger, and Abel Ferrara's Body Snatchers. All horror thrillers from the 80s and 90s. Innocent Blood is John Landis, I believe. The Hunger, I know, is Tony Scott's first film. As I said, Body Snatchers is Abel Ferrara. And Wolfen, who did Wolfen? Michael Wadley. Not familiar with him, but it's starring Albert Finney. I know Roy really didn't get on with that one, so I'm probably going to love it. Only kidding, Roy. So yep, that's that one. Then we have Chaplin, another one that's just been sat in the collection for a while, because it's like one of those Oscar baity type films. I don't know if it actually did ever win any Oscars. Does it say? No, it won a BAFTA though. And it's Richard Attenborough. Charlie Chaplin's always interested me. Robert Downey Jr. So yeah, that's why I picked that one up. Some new-ish pickups, Until Dawn. Jim said this one's just a lot of fun. I like a fun horror film. The trailer really looks like my sort of thing. Unlike a lot of people, I think the director, David F. Sandberg's, he's good at the things that he's assigned to, if you know what I mean. He's not like an auteur director. He is just one of those guys that studios get to direct big films. So you like Lights Out, he did Annabelle Creation, he's done this, he did the 2 Shazam films as well. And they're all fine films. They're not bad films, they're entertaining films. So I'm sure I'm going to have fun with that one when I get to it. We also have The Woman in the Yard, another Blumhouse film that came out earlier in the year. I didn't really hear any good word of mouth about this one. But you never know, it could surprise me. Is it Homi Colette Serra, who's a decent director? He's doing the Cliffhanger reboot, and he's done many of Liam Neeson's action films, including Unknown, Non-Stop, The Commuter, Run All Night. Lots of his films. But I don't know if he's done a horror film yet, other than this, so could be a good one, that. We then have The Penguin Lessons, which my good friend Roy watched the other night, and I said, what do you think of it? Because I saw on Letterboxd that he'd watched it, and Roy being Roy came back and said it was as dull as dishwater. And I'm like, right, so that means I'm going to love it. And he said, probably. Which sounds about right, because me and Roy tend to like completely different things. There are, of course, some things that we both definitely agree on. Some unexpected things even that we both agree on. But there are some things that you would imagine both of us would like, and we don't. So yeah, Penguin Lessons, another newish one. And another newish one is Mr. Burton, which I believe, I don't know if it's soon or if it already has, will be available on the BBC iPlayer soon, because it's a BBC produced film. I read somewhere that they will be showing it fairly soon. So if you don't want to pick up a physical copy of it, it will be on the television within the next month or so, I think, or maybe Christmas. So keep an eye out for it. But it's basically the origin story of Richard Burton, how he became famous, the people in his life, I suppose, that helped him. So yeah, that's Mr. Burton. Then another great gift from my friend James over at Movie Mad. He sent me I think this is the Region A copy of The Ring. I'm assuming he picked up the 4K earlier in the year. A horror film I've wanted to watch. Again, this will probably be the other one that I end up watching with Drag Me to Hell, because I can only watch it downstairs. I tried it upstairs and it didn't work. So that could be my double bill for this Wednesday night. So you might already know my thoughts on this one. But yeah, Naomi Watts, Martin Henderson, Brian Cox. It's a Gore Verbinski film as well. I know it's a remake, and I know not everybody loves it, but I definitely want to give it a go. We then have this FX2, because I did watch FX recently and thoroughly enjoyed it. I've heard FX2's not as good. It's one I still like to check out at some point. And this is a lovely Arrow set that I got in the last Arrow sale. Although I believe there is a Halloween Arrow sale going on at the moment. We then have Ever After, A Cinderella Story. I know, it's Drew Barrymore, but I'm a sucker for these sort of like fairy tale type films, like different takes on these classic stories. So I thought, what the hell, I'll pick it up. I'll see what it's like at some point. Angelica Houston, I'm guessing playing the wicked stepmother in this. Looks like Doug Ray Scott. Yeah, Doug Ray Scott. So yeah, Don't know if that will be my thing or not. Everyone's going to sigh when they realise I've not seen Braveheart. No, it's been sat in the shelf. I want to say it's going on 2 years now I've had it. And I'll be honest, the pure reason why I've not seen this one yet is the runtime. Committing, sitting down to, I suppose 170 minutes isn't as long as some. But I don't know, I just have not put this one on yet, so I'm sure I'm going to get lots of people in the comments telling me, give that one a watch. We then have, I love Gene Hackman. This one's called Target with Matt Dillon on the Premium Collection. Yeah, I picked this up for Gene Hackman for £4 as well. Why not? I love Gene Hackman. I've been on a right kick of his films this year since he passed away. Just going back, I'm just really appreciating how much of a great actor he was. So yeah, this is another one that I do need to get around to watching. We then have A Single Man, which is Colin Firth, Julianne Moore, Matthew Good and Nicholas Hoult. It's a Tom Ford film. I recently re-watched Nocturnal Animals and thoroughly enjoyed that, so I can only imagine I will probably enjoy this one as well when I get to it. Drama thriller, I believe. I think it's set in the 60s in LA. Could be good, that one. We then have The Water Diviner, Russell Crowe, an Australian sort of war film, I believe. He's trying to look for his sons that I think have gone missing in action during World War One. He's a farmer. He goes to Istanbul to find out what happened to his sons. Is that one any good? Let me know. Ridley Scott next, American Gangster, another Russell Crowe one with Denzel Washington, about Frank Lucas, the gangster in the 70s in New York, I believe. I've started this one before, but again, I probably would go for the extended feature, which is literally 3 hours. So again, it's all about timing for this one. And as you know, I'm not a massive Ridley Scott fan, so I don't know if I'll like that one that much. We have Tigerland with Colin Farrell. You've got Clifton Collins Jr., Cole Hauser. It's a Joel Schumacher film. This was his breakthrough film, Colin Farrell, in 2000, 25 years ago now. A war film. Is it a Vietnam War film? I don't know. Yeah, Vietnam. Yep, is this one any good? Another war film next. The Great Raid. Benjamin Bratt, James Franco, Connie Nielsen. Is it, who's the other one? Joseph Fiennes, yeah. Again, is this any good? World War II film, this one. We have Lars von Trier's Breaking the Waves, which I heard is a pretty rough watch. But is it worth the watch? That is the biggest question. Emily Watson and Stellan Skarsgård in this one. We then have Mr. Majestic, Charles Bronson, another one that I picked up in the Signal 1 sale. Another one I've not seen yet. Is Jill Ireland in this one? That is the question, because she was in an awful lot of his films. But her name is not on the back, so maybe she was not in this one. Rust and Bone, another one. I think I saw the trailer for this before I was watching another film at home one night. I thought that looks like it could be a decent watch. Marion Cotillard and Matthias Schoenaerts. So yeah. Is that one any good? We have River's Edge. I know Jodie, I think, said that she likes this one. Crispin Glover, Keanu Reeves, Ione Skye, Daniel Roebuck, Dennis Hopper. Yeah, I heard this quite a hard to watch film though. We have Damnation Alley. Pete was talking about this on a stream once. It kind of was supposed to be the big summer film of I always say the wrong year. It's 77, yeah, when Star Wars came out. And Star Wars wasn't very big before it came out. And this flopped. Star Wars obviously didn't. The rest is history. We have Nonnas, which is a Netflix film, which I just thought I'd try and get a copy of from eBay. Obviously, it's not an official copy. And it's, again, another one that only works on the Blu-ray player downstairs, so when I'll get to that one, I don't know, but I know, and again, it'll be one that I probably really enjoy. And we also have Cinema Paradiso, another one that was picked up in the Arrow sale. Roy's gone on many times about how good this film is, so maybe it is finally the time for me to watch it. Right, I'm just going to pause a second and I should be back in a minute. Right, carrying on. We have Burnt. I've put this in this pile because it's been a long time since I've watched this one. And Roy was speaking about it a few months ago. I thought, oh, I've not got that one. And it could do with a rewatch. So that is why that's in the pile. Prince of the City. 2 for $15 pickup when the Warner Archive sale was going on over the summer. It's a Sidney Lumet film, Treat Williams. It's all I really needed to know. I've heard pretty good things about it anyway. But Sidney Lumet is generally a decent director. We have this 3-film box set which has Joe Wright in comment as well as Keira Knightley. So Joe Knight directed all 3 of these films. Joe Wright, sorry, get that right. And Keira Knightley stars in all 3. So in release order you have Pride and Prejudice, which also stars Matthew McFadyen, Brenda Blethyn, Donald Sutherland and Judi Dench. We have Atonement with Keira Knightley, James McAvoy and a very young Saoirse Ronan. And Anna Karenina with Keira Knightley, Jude Law, Aaron Taylor-Johnson and Kelly MacDonald. So all period films, 3 films that I've wanted to watch for a while. And I got this at a very, very good price as well. We then have Voyagers, one that I got pretty cheap a few years back. I just never watched it, but I am a massive Colin Farrell fan. He is really one of my favourites. So God knows why I've not seen that one yet. We have Valerian and the City of 1,000 Planets, which I did see at the cinema, but haven't seen since. So I thought it was only fair to put it in this pile to rewatch at some point. We have Four Lions, which is a British comedy by Chris Morris, who's also a comedian, that I've heard really good things about. I've just never seen it. And another rewatch, which is the final Blu-ray of the stack, Quartet, directed by Dustin Hoffman, and with a killer cast of Maggie Smith, Tom Courtenay, Billy Connolly, Pauline Collins, and Michael Gambon. About a retirement home for sort of musical people, I suppose, musicians. That's probably a better word for it. And it's about this group of friends. They've been friends for years, and they're getting ready to do this big concert. Basically, there's more to it than that. It's been a long time since I've watched it. On to the smaller stack of DVDs. We have Jesus Christ Superstar, Norman Jewison film. I do like a good musical, if you know me. But I'm not an overly religious person, but it's a musical, so whether I like this or not, I don't know. Yeah, so there's that one. We have Cry Wolf, which I've heard is actually a pretty decent sort of low budget horror film, and it's directed by, let's try not to throw it around, it's a director I know, Jeff Wadlow, who I believe went on to do Trick or Treat. He did last year's Imaginary, Truth or Dare, and a few other stuff. So he's not the best director, but I've heard this one isn't too bad. We have Derailed, Clive Owen, Jennifer Aniston and Vincent Cassel, in like a Hitchcockian type thriller, I believe. Yep. Heaven, Cate Blanchett, Giovanni Ribisi, some sort of thriller. Yep, again, another one not too familiar with. Chopper, I've heard pretty good things about this one. Eric Bana kind of what made him famous, I think. So yes, an Australian film directed by Andrew Dominic. Yeah. We have Little Nicky, which I watched many years ago, which is why it's in this pile, because I haven't seen it. All I can remember is the scene at the end with Ozzy Osbourne. That's kind of stayed in my mind. Obviously, you've got Rodney Dangerfield in here as well. Must have been one of his last films, I want to say. Harvey Keitel as the devil. Yeah, remember it being pretty funny. Shallow Hal, one that I actually have never seen, but one that I know will definitely be up my street, because I love these sorts of late 90s, early noughties comedies, and it's a Farrelly Brothers film as well, so ticks another box there. We have Supernova. I'm not sure if it's this one, or there was another one. Was it Virus? They came out around the same time. It might have been this one. I don't know if his name is going to be on the back, but I believe it was Francis Ford Coppola essentially took over directing this, because the director, I'm guessing Thomas Lee, didn't turn up or something, so Francis Ford Coppola picked it up, but I'm guessing he was uncredited. It was either this or it was Virus. I read something about that somewhere, or I could be just completely mad, you know. We have an Australian film called The Dish, which is an alternative look at the moon landings from Australia, with Sam Neill, that one as well. We have Betty Blue, which I've heard is a pretty good French film. I think it's French. Yeah, it's a French film. We've got Swing Time, a Fred and Ginger film. I love Fred Astaire. Never seen anything with Ginger Rogers in though. But yeah, heard that one's a classic. We have Hard Candy, Patrick Wilson, Ellen Page and Sandra Oh, which I've heard is quite a rough watch. Yeah. We have got Monty Python and the Holy Grail. I don't know why I've not seen this yet, because I absolutely adore Monty Python. Life of Brian, one of my favourite comedies ever. So I really, really should get onto this one. We've got Of Human Bondage with Leslie Howard and Betty Davis. A lot of these were charity shop pickups. I don't know anything about them. We've got Spies Like Us with Chevy Chase and Dan Aykroyd, two pretty good leads there. So it could be a decent 80s comedy, that one. We have Little Children, which I believe Ash recommended a while back. Kate Winslet, Jennifer Connelly and Patrick Wilson. We have Management, Jennifer Aniston, Steve Zahn. Looks like my sort of comedy. So like a little sort of indie sort of comedy. Woody Harrelson in this one as well. And Fred Ward. We've got The Perfect Score with a young Chris Evans and Scarlett Johansson. I think Eric Christensen's in there as well. Is there anyone else? Brian Greenberg. Yeah, so that one any good? We have Iris, Judi Dench, Jim Broadbent and Kate Winslet. Three terrific actors there. But yeah, don't know too much about that one. We have got All Eyes on Me, which is the biopic about Tupac, which, one again that I've been interested in for a while. We have Miss Pettigrew Lives for a Day, which sort of looks like it could be a Coen Brothers film, but it's not a Coen Brothers film. I mean, it would make sense if it was, because it's Frances McDormand. The trailer has that sort of feel to it. Amy Adams in there as well. I don't know, it could be quite a nice watch, that one. And last, but by no means least, we have a film called Jude, starring Christopher Eccleston and Kate Winslet. Costume drama, I think this one is. And I say that because it's in the costume collection. So yeah, that's everything in stack 3. Leave me all of your recommendations down below. They're all appreciated, and I will get onto them, I promise. I've already seen a few from the first video that were recommended to me, so I will get onto them sooner rather than later. If you like the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. Turn your notification bell on so you know when I have a new video uploaded to the channel. And comment down below anything and everything. As you know, I always take the time to get back to anyone that leaves me a comment, because I really do appreciate it. And that is it. So until next time, everyone, take care. Goodbye.